Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is as you can see, her hair is already done. And the reason this is because I just filmed this video. And you will hear me talking in the beginning of the video about how I found this new app to change the white balance and all that stuff. And as I was, after I finished filming, I looked at the footage and it was like, oh, hell no, this is not happening. Not only is the white balance not good, I tried to film flat again, because to be honest with you, that is so much more comfortable for me than doing it in an angle. I might have to maybe try and find a different easel or something. I don't know. But anyway, the reason for this little pre-intro to the video is to let you know that the color in the video is definitely not true to her color. I think that this is truer, but I can't swear to it. But what you will see at the end of the video, that is definitely, that one was taken in direct, not direct, outdoors in, you know, in good lighting outside. And it is true to what she looks like. And I'm pretty sure that it looks right here. So I think I'm just gonna, unfortunately, have to go back to my coloring it on an angle just like this for the next video. But for this one, just be aware that the colors are not exactly true. So I'm sorry about that, but this is what she actually looks like when she's finished. So I will let the regular video with the intro and everything go ahead and run, and we'll try and get this. I'll try and get this worked out and fixed for you. So there you go. Enjoy. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. And what are we on? Part 3 of Nixie. She is a Greyscale Coloring Page that I have done for February 2023. And she is in my Etsy shop. And the link to that is down in the description box, either below or beside the video. So it's so great to have you guys back. Yeah, I've been trying to get this thing filmed for a couple of days because I've been wanting to change the way that I'm filming. I had been for about the last year filming on an angle on a desktop easel, and that made the lighting really easy. But it made me my coloring felt it felt a little unnatural. It's not how I color when I'm just at home playing. So I wanted to try and get back to the little bit more relaxed way for me, where I'm coloring flat on the table. So hopefully the lighting on this works okay. I had to find an app that would adjust white balance because my stupid iPhone, which is what I film with, thinks that it's smarter than I am and keeps wanting to adjust the colors incorrectly. So yeah, that was a pain. But anyway, we're finally here, and I think that it looks good and pretty natural for what she actually looks like. So that makes me happy. All right, so we're going to start on her hair. Well, we'll probably finish her hair and probably some of the stuff in her hair today as well. So I am using Prismacolors for this. I'm going to be using white, my Spurifarben black, which, yeah, I will be using that too, I'm sure. Prismacolor Eggshell, which is PC 140. We have Espresso. I can never remember the number of this. Yeah, I don't know. I have my book here. I should probably like pull my book out. It helps a lot to know what numbers. I know it helps when you guys know what numbers they are. So hang on, I'll look it up. Okay, Espresso is PC 1099, and light Umber, which is PC 941. Okay, so I know I'm pretty far back. I might expand it and make it a little bit bigger in the post-production. So this way we have a few options. But anytime I get too close, I always feel like I tend to go out of frame too much. So I'm going to start with the white. And we're just going to flick some of this up here in through her hair. Her hair's kind of spiky and sticking up. So we'll give it some of that. I always want the brightest highlights to kind of be in the kind of the center of the hair, I guess. That's not a hard and fast rule by any means, but let's see. While I'm at it here, I'm going to just, maybe I'll do that with a pencil. I'm just gonna kind of get at least the outline of where this daisy is. Just so that it's easier to see when I'm putting in these hairs here. I forgot to turn off my what do you call that? Do not disturb on the phone, which could be a pain. Okay, so I guess a little bit of the white will be over here. And we might as well just carry on and do it everywhere. That'll make it a little bit easier to follow. All right, we'll start there, and then we'll switch to Eggshell. We're mostly going to be doing this pretty much exactly the same way that we did the white. We're just adding some of this color in here. And you can go a little bit further up and a little bit further, what am I trying to say? A larger area than we did the eggshell. Just to be honest, the majority of the shaping and the when it really starts to look like hair is going to come from those darker colors. So what we're doing here with the eggshell isn't quite as, doesn't have to be quite as precise. All right, so now we're going to use the light umber, which is PC 941. And so now is when we kind of really want to get a little bit more precise. Feather this into what we have going on. And don't forget to still kind of keep in mind that the hair is going to have sections. And so try and keep those in mind as you are putting the color down, and it will help with the depth. All right, I want to get this drawn in here. I think I colored over something I shouldn't have, but that's okay. Is there anything else I need to do? Let's do this over here. Just mostly need to do the outside edge just to make sure that I don't get too much stuff where it doesn't belong. Okay, back to the light umber. And actually, I think I'm going to put it in a pencil extender. Okay, so, you know, this is her, where the hair comes off of the front of her head. So we kind of want to keep that kind of soft. I don't want a harsh line. We can do some of that with the slice tool when we get finished. Now, in this case, normally when I'm, you know, when you're working a section of hair, you're going to have your lightest colors in the center and then your darker colors on the outer edges. But in this case, I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot of the darker. I think I want to leave the top pretty light, kind of like that's where the edges of this hair are catching sunlight and are going to be pretty light. In fact, there's a whole bunch of areas over here that I really kind of failed to put hair on, but we can We can come back and add more of that later if we need to. Just a little bit of color. Leave those tips light. Because we've got hair and greenery all intermingled together, we may have to go back and forth. Get the hair mostly done, do the greenery, and then come back in and add even more hair on top of things so that it looks natural. So in this case, I'm going to feather into her scalp or into her head so that this line is nice and soft. And it helps be a little bit more precise on the edge of that flower. Alrighty, let's come down to the braids. I'm going to give my pencil just a little, just touch up that tip with my sandpaper sharpener so that I don't have to run it through the pencil sharpener as often. It helps to keep that tip a little bit longer as keeps the core a little bit longer. So if I can use the sandpaper sharpener as much as possible, especially when doing hair, when you want that really sharp tip, it helps to kind of preserve your pencils a little bit. Again, one of those other tricks is if you kind of turn your pencil periodically as you're working, it will help keep the tip sharper as well. And we're just feathering into the center of each little braid section. touch up again. I find twisting it and pulling it gives me the best tip without losing too much pencil. And if you don't have these that are like on the wood boards, they're pretty inexpensive on Amazon. But still, if you don't have them or you don't want to, you know, spend the money, regular old 220 sandpaper works just as well. You'll just have to lay it on the table so you have a hard surface. Alrighty, so now it's time for Espresso. This is PC 1099. And this is where we're going to put all of our, this is where we're going to get like most of our depth. We'll come in with some black probably too, but you want to be sure you cover up any of the gray with these colors. Maybe it's the light umber, or maybe it's this espresso, but get that nice and covered up so that your grays are not really showing through. What you're doing. You don't really want the gray to show through. You want color to show through. You want to cover it completely. That's where you're going to get your more realistic looking page. If what you want to achieve is for people to not know that you colored a grayscale image, and that is can easily be done. Not that you're trying to, you know, put one over on them or anything. That's not what I mean. But what I'm saying is that you don't want people to be able to look at a piece and instantly go, oh, that's grayscale. And you just do that by making sure that you cover everything well with enough pigment and all that. Usually, hair is darker at the hairline. So that's what I'm going to do here, give her a little bit darker right here. Okay, so this all in here, that's kind of part of the fern. Okay, so I'm going to give this a little touch up. Okay. I think I'm happy with this for this upper part here for now. I want to get some of the fern stuff in, and then we can come in and fix whatever needs to be fixed. Okay, so we want our darkest bits to be in the on the inside of the braid. I'm just adding some what would I call that? You know, some sections where the hair is kind of clumping, separating. Okay, let's keep on going. Don't forget to turn your pencil occasionally. It really helps. Every time I turn it, I can feel a sharper point. It stops feeling quite so soft, and I can tell that I've grabbed an edge there that's going to give me a little bit sharper of a line. All right. Before we carry on, I'm just looking for... Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. Sometimes this works on my tan paper, and sometimes it doesn't. I think we're going to need to use the white pencil. So if you're doing her on white paper, you can take a slice tool, which if you're not familiar with them, they're an incredibly wonderful tool that scrapes the wax off of the paper without damaging the paper. And so when I'm working on white paper, I can just take it and usually I take the rounded edge rather than the sharper side, and just scrape it through and create some loose kind of, a little more natural looking hairs. In the case of the white paper, because in the case of the tan paper, because white shows up so beautifully on tan paper, I'm just going to come through with my white and just kind of add a few messy hairs, because the braids are never, hair is never perfect. There's always those kind of loose hairs that maybe catch the light or that are being a little difficult. At least they are for me. So just in doing those few little flyaway hairs, I think it improves the realism of the braids. Okay, I think it's now time for us to move on to the greens and the flowers, and then we'll come in and add the rest of what we need to do for her hair. So let me pull out what I need for that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got some of my greens pulled out and some yellows. So I want to maybe show you something that you can do if you want to. Sometimes we want to have a little bit more defined whatever it is, you want it to be a little bit more defined. So like in this case, I feel like my fern, because I printed the light grayscale on the tan paper, it kind of disappeared a little bit. So I'm going to draw it in And you can just draw it in yourself. Don't forget that there's a, you have dark versions of this page as well as the colored version of this page that you can use as a reference if you need to. I'm just really just loosely throwing this down here. I'm sure it's not the way I had it originally, but it'll be good. All right, so let's get these going here. I guess I'll start with Apple Green, which is PC 912. Sometimes it just really helps to have it a little bit more, that it helps to have an outline. Like right here, I feel like I missed the... I feel like none of what I just said made any sense at all, like I was just babbling. Yeah, it's really much easier to color something in when there's a defined border around it. It just depends on the look that you are after. So, all right, so we'll start there. Now I'm going to take, whoops, that's not what I want. I want Prussian Green. Okay. Oh, and I didn't do anything down here. Let's do this stem. Okay, so this is another area where you could also just outline with your darker pencil too. That helped. Kind of like these darker in the middle a little bit, the center of the, not the center, the base of the leaf. So I think for this case, I'm preferring to just do a light pencil rather than the what's that called? Jeez Louise. Fine liner. I think I like it better. So now I'm using this Chartreuse PC 989. Just for a little brightening. And then I might even let's do a little bit of white on here too. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Okay. Then my question is, do I want a little bit of espresso? Okay, so we're going to carry on. I'm going to stick with just using the pencil that I put down to outline everything. So we'll go back. We'll start with this apple green. I hope you don't mind me turning my paper. It's so much more natural. Okay, let's do some Prussian Green, PC 109. What I like about greenery like this is it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's kind of wild, so it still looks good if you're not giving it a perfect look. Okay, I really like the white on there. I'm going to put this Chartreuse on here again, though. Chartreuse just brightens up anything, and it kind of, to me, always gives my leaves that out in the sunshine kind of look, which I like. All right, then we're going to take our white and just kiss some of these leaves. Whoops. Well, that's what happens when you press too hard. And it doesn't help that I have one of these stupid off-core pencils. All right, I like those two. Let's come and do these. So I think the same exact way. So we'll start with apple green. Actually, on this one, I'm going to put a little bit of white highlight down the center there. Okay, then our Prussian Green. And I'm going to leave out the Chartreuse on these since they're kind of under her horn a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to fix this because I forgot to color that. And I'm going to take my Espresso, fill in this area, which is like hair. All right, let's do the little, I call them daisies. They're probably not daisies, but let's do all of these. I was gonna not outline these. I was gonna just do it with the white, but I changed my mind. Okay. Oh, we're gonna need a gray too here. Let's see. Of course, all my grays are out. I've been working on multiple projects. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our, now if you are on white paper, you obviously won't not have to do this. You will just go straight to using gray. Unless you want to add the white. Sometimes I add white anyway on white paper just because I like to have pencil everywhere on the paper. I don't, because it kind of gives an even sheen. I don't like having the shine of the pencil and then the matte of the paper showing through. I love watching a page start to come alive. You know, you do each thing in a section, you know, at a time. And with every completed section, like, you know, she looked weird with just her with just her head done, her face. But once I got the neck on there, it was like, oh, okay, that looks a lot better. And then, you know, you add the hair and it's like, oh, that looks better. And then now that we've added these, it just kind of, it's like it just slowly comes together. And I just love watching it do that. All right, so I'm going to wait to do the gray on the shadows until I get this center portion done. So I'm going to start with Jasmine and see how I like that first. So I'm going to go Jasmine. Then I'm going to do some of this. Is this dark enough? It's not bad. I was going to use Spanish orange, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe, I don't even know what that is. What color is that? That color is it mineral orange? Nope, goldenrod. This is goldenrod. Sometimes I can identify a color instantly, and sometimes it's like, no. Okay, let's try goldenrod. All right, I like that. So, Jasmine. Goldenrod, PC 1034. And then I'm going to use Espresso. What color is that? Or what number is that? Espresso 1099. Okay, and I'm going to just as lightly as I can. I'm almost dotting it, going around the edges. Dotting it or using the tiniest of little circles. Okay. Then we're going to take our gray. I have 50% cool gray. I'm not sure if that's too dark or not. Nope, I think that'll be just fine. And I'm just going to put that in a few spots to try and make some of these leaves look, not leaves, petals look like they're kind of recessed behind some of the other ones. It's just a tiny little bit is necessary. It's really, and if you don't want to do it, that's okay too. I think it would still be good. Oh, I missed a green bit here. I'm going to take my green, my apple green, and my Prussian green. Okay. All right, so if you get your gray on and you feel like it's too gray, you don't like it, or it's whatever, maybe you feel like you want to blend it, just take your white and blend right over the top of it, and it should just soften and blend that gray right out. This one I'm adding a little bit more gray too, because it's right underneath that horn. So that petal, I think, would be more heavily shadowed. Okay. Let's get some, let's take our espresso and let's get some shadows, just gently in little circles. We're going to darken the hair underneath these daisies. And the shadows really make a difference in grounding something so that it doesn't look like it's floating on top of her head, which if it was, there wouldn't be much shadow. So once you add a few darker bits underneath these, all of a sudden now they look like they are sitting right on her hair and not just floating out there in space. I could use gray or something, but I'm just going to stick with this one. I don't mind using the espresso on top of that green. Okay, we still have, I think we still have plenty of time, so let's go ahead and do this one. For this one, I think I'm going to use dark green. Nope, that's grass green. Did I pull dark green out? Dark green. I think I'm going to use dark green. Celadon green, maybe some of this espresso, some white. We'll start there and see how that goes. So on my white Prisma, pain in the butt, but I still love them. They're still one of my favorite pencils. But occasionally we do get them off core. Now, I actually bought this one in the store, and I looked at it and went, yeah, okay, that's centered. Not centered. So rather than having to constantly sharpen it and waste pencil, I do take my blade and I do just gently away from me, because I'm notorious for cutting myself. Scrape away the wood. You have to be careful. You can't push really hard because, you know, again, it's pointy. But now I don't feel like I'm scraping against that wood casing. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. And I know everybody, well, people who don't love Prismacolors are very critical of Prismacolors. And I guess I understand that. If you're not in the U.S., if you're in other parts of the world, from what I understand, Prismas are quite a lot more expensive than they are here, probably because they're made in Mexico, so they're much closer. This is the Celadon Green. Much closer to us than they are to you guys. Across the pond, as they say, or in other areas of the world. So I could totally understand how, you know, you might be less than enthusiastic about Prismas if they cost as much as, you know, say, the polychromos or whatever. I'm not sure what they charge or what they cost over there. I would imagine polys are cheaper overseas than they are here because they're made closer to you guys. That's just my guess. But here in the States, you just cannot get a better pencil for the money, in my opinion. Please remember, this is just my opinion, than Prismas, because they're just, you know, open stock, and I can just go to I can get them anywhere, which I really love. That's Cooper, in case you don't know. And the FedEx guy's across the street, so unfortunately, it's not for me. All right, now I'm going to take this dark green And actually, this is actually leaf, like this. Now, I really like that. That is not the color that I used originally. So I'm going to start slow with this dark green to make sure that I really like it, because I really like that blue. Let's see, we'll save that white until afterwards. I really like that blue showing, so I'm going to go really slow. I know, it's not blue. It's Celadon green, but to my eye, when I look at it, it's a very blue-gray kind of green. That's just my interpretation of it. Well, I guess this isn't bad. I kind of want these to be darker than what they were going to wind up being if I only used that Celadon. So we'll just carry on. The thing that's fun about leaves is that they don't have to be, you can do them however you want, and they always look right, because leaves can be kind of anything, can't they? Okay, let's do some, it is too light. I do want it to be darker. Let's do some, but not dark green. So how about some Prussian green? That dark green is a very, to me, kind of a bluish green as well. That's better. This gives it a little bit of an olivey, a little more yellow in here. Let's do some Chartreuse. Let's add a little bit more of that jade on top now. It's not quite what I want yet, so let's try some kelp green. This is PC 1090. So if you guys saw the video that I did about the swatching of all of my pencil sets together, thank you, by the way, to everybody who left me a sweet little donation on that. I appreciate it very much. But I have been really enjoying using all of my pencils together. I'm working on a sorry, I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. I'm going to go back to dark green again. I have been working on an Anastasia Coloring page, and I've just, you know, I'm just using my full swatch chart with all the pencils together. So I've used every brand of pencils that I have in this page, and they're all working really beautifully together. I haven't found any that I haven't liked together. And it's so nice. It's like having 500 colors all in one set. All right, now I'm going to take my white. And I'm going to put some lines down. All right, that's not bad. Let's take, I'm debating on pulling in some black into her hair right now. So let's just see what that looks like. Sometimes that extra little bit of depth really makes a difference. So you wouldn't use it all over. You just use it in certain spots where you just really want it to be nice and dark. I'm looking at my ladybug here and I'm thinking, I think I put color where I didn't want to put color. So before I get too involved in what I'm doing, I'm just gonna make sure, maybe that's just a highlight. Just want to make sure that that stays clean. Okay, sorry, back to what we were doing, black. Oh, I like that. That looks good. Getting those nice. Get nice definition underneath the ferns. That I'm not so crazy about. So let me just sometimes just adding that other color back in and just blending it out will work just fine. Cover something up if you don't like it. Okay. I actually like it right up close. All right, so we have hair that needs to be added in here. So you want it to come in from underneath. And then I'll use the eggshell, a little bit of that. And let's use a little bit of the light umber. I'm going to sharpen this one. Okay, I'm going to do some pieces on top of the ferns as well. Oh, I missed my, okay, let's, let's get this ladybug done because I totally missed her. Crimson Lake. So I'm going to put down a little bit of white. And maybe some more white. All right, then our black. I don't think I like that color. So let's try some Crimson Red. I think that Crimson Lake was too, was not bright enough of a color. No, I can't quite. Okay, so because I didn't get my white down first, all it's doing is kind of turning it pink. So I'm scanning my, there it is. You can always add highlights, you know, with a Posca pen if you don't get your white down the way you want it first. Okay, I'm looking for a little bit of shadow, maybe with black, just a little bit. On this, that's better. There we go. Okay, there's one. Let's do the other one. Let's get our white down first. Then Crimson Red, which is PC 924. Then our little black dots. And I'm going to do a little bit of dark shading right underneath it. And I just want it to be a little bit brighter, so a little bit of white dot right there is fine. Sometimes I soften it by just tapping it after I get it on there. Okay, so far so good. What do we have left? Butterflies. And then these greens. We might as well, since we're in the ladybug kind of place. Let's go ahead and do that one too. So I want the red on this ladybug to be a little bit brighter. And because it's that really dark grayscale, it's very dark. So I'm going to take my white and just very lightly cover over that grayscale. It's not a heavy cover. It's just a really light cover of that. And then when I go to put my red on, that little bit of white is going to brighten that red a little bit more. And you know what else sometimes brightens up red if you want it to be a little bit brighter? Orange. This is a really bright orange. I'm not sure if that's the one that I want to use. Yeah, I think that works out okay. I'm going to take a little bit of this neon orange and put it on around the white, not too much on top of the white, but kind of around it. And that really brightens up that red. Ooh, I like that. Okay, good. Good. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do anything else with that one as far as like the little legs and all of that until I get the green done. So we are at about an hour and 15 minutes, I think. And I think that I'm going to stop here because if I start getting into doing the butterflies, I think we're really going to get, I think we're going to start getting into too long of a video. I should be able to knock out the ferns, this piece of pine, the two butterflies, and the background in one more video. So I think this is where we're going to end. And hopefully you had a good time. Maybe you learned something. And that's, you know, that's what it's all about, right? Having fun and learning fun stuff. So until I see you guys on the next video, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love to you all. Bye.